Do you remember the first time that you saw Times Square?
The first time I saw Times Square, I think I was 15 years old. It's the first time I went downtown from the Bronx. My friends, Mutty, Schlermy, Duvid, and one more, I forget, Victor. We saved our money to go to not a neighborhood movie, the downtown movie, to see my favorite actor, Frederick March, at the Astor Movie Theater in Anthony Adverse. And it was, a matter of fact, it was my first. I remember I was sort of funny at the time, and I remember doing the scene where the old father says, "You're a man, you're the son of sorrow and adversity." Adversity. Yes, I know. We will call you Anthony Adverse. I remember making a joke, Anthony Adverse, and I made a joke of that. But that's my first time I went downtown.
Wow, you were living in the Bronx.
I was living in the Bronx. It was 50 cents to see the movie. In our neighborhood, we got in for $1.25, but that was the first run at the Astor. 50 cents was a lot of money. In born in 22, it had to be 36, 37.
Was it an event to go to the center of Times Square? Did you see those lights? Or did you take them for granted?
No, we didn't take the lights for granted because we hadn't been there. However, New York is, every part of New York is crowded. So when you went downtown for the first time, the buildings were taller, but the amount of people were probably more people than were in the Bronx. But we were used to crowds, and we got used to it very fast. Going to the automat for the first time was the thrill. To give somebody a quarter and they throw back 5 nickels, and you put them in slots and get things like chocolate pudding pie, which comes once a year. It used to come during one season. And but thrilling times.
Do you remember seeing a show after the films? Do you remember seeing your first Broadway show in a theater?
My first Broadway show, thanks to the Works Progress Administration, the WPA, there was a version. There was an original. I don't know, but it wasn't a musical. 1/3 of a Nation. I can't remember if there was music in it or not. There was, well, 1/3 of a Nation is ill-housed, ill-fed, coming from one of Roosevelt's speeches, and we were taken downtown by our high school, and I went into a theater, sat in the second balcony or the third balcony. I think there were 3 balconies in this theater. There was, because I played in that theater years later, the Daly Theater in New York, torn down on 63rd Street off Broadway, and I saw this unbelievable thing happening. People on stage making you care. And then in the second or third act, there was a fire in a tenement, and they did it with, with silk and lights, and I said, my God, it's brilliant, it's wonderful. But I must say, before seeing that, I saw the Mikado. Again, the WPA came up to the high school. Professional actors who couldn't get work, they toured with the Mikado to the different high schools. And that was the most thrilling moment of my life, when I heard a chorus of young voices on stage in beautiful harmony, singing all these great Gilbert and Sullivan songs. I was smitten. Those are my first 2 experiences watching anything in the theater. And I can't discount the fact that my parents once took me down to the Lower East Side to one of the Yiddish theaters, and I saw Molly Picon singing, and that was a thrill. And years later, when she did Milk and Honey, I met her here in California, went backstage and reminded her that I had known her all my life, because we had her records. And I had a hot dog. She sang a song called Hot Dogs. Hot dogs, we got a hot dogs, H-O-T-D-O-G. And she used to throw rubber hot dogs into the audience, and we caught one. I had that hot dog for years. So those were my introductions to theater.
Oh, that's pretty great.
And there's one other one. Again, before I came downtown, again, the Federal Theater Project had touring companies that were on caravans. They went to all the parks in the city, in 5 boroughs. They had a truck. The truck opened up, stage, wings came out of this truck, a proscenium, lights came out of the truck, and they found the place usually with a knoll in the parks where there would a natural coliseum. And when I was 12, 13, 14, I saw a play a week for 2 or 3 summers. I remember Baby Maybe Mine, Family Upstairs. I remember seeing them and being so impressed with, and they had microphones in those days in the footlights. I couldn't believe that you could hear them way in the back. And that was my first look at professional theater, because those were all professional actors who were out of work because of the Depression. It was during 35, 6, yeah, when I was 13, I was, yeah, 35, 4, 5, 6, 7.
That's fascinating that, you know, people of your generation who changed the entertainment world were being trained every week by seeing theater with, if you didn't have a dime in your pocket, you saw theater. Today, if you don't have a dime in your pocket, you don't see theater ever.
You know, seeing theater in those days cost nothing. As I mentioned, it was a free theater. The only thing that cost money was the pumpkin seeds and the sunflower seeds that was sold by vendors who would buy a bag of sunflower seeds for maybe 20 cents and sell you a jigger of sunflower seeds or pumpkin seeds, and you would sit and watch. You were allowed to eat in that theater. Theaters, you're not allowed to take anything now, but it was more like a movie house. And it's a penny. It cost a penny for a jigger of pumpkin seeds and poly seeds. That's a memory nobody probably has ever heard of.
You might start something.
No.
The comeback of the pumpkin seeds.
That would be lovely, to go to the Broadway theater and have people cracking pumpkin seeds. Their cell phones are bad enough.
Exactly. 1, 2, 3.
4, 5, 6. What comes after that?
We
Neither of us know.
You're incredible.
Thank you.
You are an incredible, great interview.
Thank you. I practice that. That's my performance talent right now. I can be a fairly good interview. I fumper a little bit, you notice at times, but with good editing, we take the fumper out.
Well, no, it's fantastic.